Now, my specific movie does not have video in it that I'm creating, but if I did have video, it imports the exact same way. I use my same import arrow, and I can choose that video somewhere from my computer and be able to import that video onto there. If I use the Photos app on my computer to import things from a camera, then those things will show up in my Photos library, and I can access that media from there. You can also, if you're using an iOS device, you can also airdrop video directly to it. So if I had video, I wanted to be able to airdrop video directly to my laptop, I can do that. It'll copy it to my downloads folder most likely, and then I can import the video from there. So I have a video clip just to show you how video works that is about a minute long, and I don't want this entire video. And so if I put my playhead at a certain spot in this video just by dragging and moving my mouse through it, the space bar on my keyboard is a shortcut to play and pause that video. So when I hit play, it's going to start playing that video. If I hit the space bar again, it's going to pause that video, and so on. So I can play, pause. Now, if I wanted to use the entire video, I could just simply click on it and drag the whole thing in here. Now, most of the time what happens is that you might have a little bit of time at the beginning or a little time at the end where the person wasn't quite ready, or maybe you hadn't said action yet, or you might have some mess up somewhere in there that you don't need this entire video clip. You only want the best part of it. So in order to do that, I need to select this best part. So I can click on the ends. These little yellow lines here are called handles. I can adjust the handles to select a specific spot in the image and then just drag that part in here if I want. But there's an easier way to do that, and that's using a couple keys on the keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to a spot that I really want to use. All right, so maybe this spot right around in here. So I'm going to zoom out or go back out a little bit here to right before he starts. I'm going to hit the play button or the space bar to play. So let's say that's the part I want. So I'm going to go back, and once I'm going to hit play again, right here is where I want that clip to start. So I could try to drag that handle all the way to that line, but it's kind of hard to find. So an easier way to do it is if I use the I key on my keyboard, it will automatically set that to be the starting point of my clip. So when I hit I, right there, boom, that's the beginning of my clip selection. And now I can hit the space bar again. And hit space bar again to pause, and maybe that right there is the spot I want. So now that I have it paused here, I'm going to hit the O key on the keyboard, and this will mark the end of that clip. I and O are convenient because they're right next to each other on the keyboard. And I stands for in, O stands for out. This is kind of a pro term. I is the in point of my movie, O is the out point of this particular clip. And so I want to mark that in and out and then drag that into it, and now it only shows me that one part. There is a shortcut. If I want, I can hit the E key on the keyboard, and that will automatically add whatever I have selected to my project. Sometimes, depending on how tiny that selection is, it's a little tricky to click right inside of it, and so hitting the E key just drags it in there. Now, depending on how I filmed my video, I can take multiple selections and add it to my timeline from the same clip. So I can follow the exact same procedure, find the next part that I want, hit the I key again, it'll mark a new in, I can move to the end of that clip and then hit O, and it'll make a new selection for that video that I can then drag that down into my timeline the same way. You'll notice in the image itself, it actually shows a little orange line. That orange line is showing what part of the clip has been used in my timeline already. If I mess up a selection and I change my mind, maybe I want it to end here instead, I just hit the O key again, and it'll just change that out point to the new location. So that's how I can add video to my project. Again, it works the same way as images. If I need to stretch it out, I can click on the image and make it longer or shorter if I change my mind, but that's how I add video to my project.